Before the video begins, I just want to note the audio is iffy and the editing is sort of ass. The video is on and off over the span of months, so it's kind of, yeah, mishmashed together, and with, the recordings taking place months apart, I may sound, I don't know, more noisy in some clips and a bit more clear in other clips. I also, for some reason, like saying a lot. Didn't even realize I were doing it until I were playing it back, so yeah, just kind of ignore that and enjoy the video. Hey, if you're watching this, I assume you already know what this is about, so I'll spare you the original game details. This video is supposed to capture various clips of development. It's been a long time, it's long overdue, so we'll start at the beginning and jump right into it. So this footage is really old. The first real mechanic I wanted to implement was the Minimap and Fog of War, a staple of the game. To test, I created a basic map and snapped a static picture of my test environment, so I had a background to display. And I didn't want to render another camera. It felt like a cheap way to do it, so I just went with the picture away, because this would also allow me to modify maps in image editing software, clean them up a little bit and so on. After fighting a little bit with the blitting process, I had it blitting correctly and it was working nicely. It was a bit pixelated, but all this would be sorted much later. I was happy it was working, and it was working fast. That was the important part. And it could handle multiple entities all blitting at the same time. And in theory, it could scale up to various map sizes, and it should just work. Shortly after, I worked on getting the world space coordinates converted to screen space, and then confined them to the minimap. I had a bit of trouble at first, as the icons could be of various shapes, and the pivots could be in different positions. It all depends on how the icon was set up in the editor. And to fix this, I just set out a bunch of rules to follow, so the pivots were consistent, the size was consistent, and this made it super easy to just slap new icons in. It added much more flexibility to the map, allowing basically anything to be displayed on the map, which was nice. The icons are a bit small here. I did fix this later, and you can see the xenomorphs are blitting and they're showing in red on the minimap. So now we have a functional minimap that looks like shit. Next, I wanted to start getting things looking a little better, so I moved on to smoothing the Fog of War and adding in visited areas. As you can see, it's as smooth as my brain. It's beautiful, cutting through like a hot knife and butter. Okay, so now our fog doesn't look like it's fresh out of the early 2000s. Let's add some visited areas in. These play a vital role, as enemies entering this area in the original game are shown as holographic outlines. It also allows us to see where we've already been. The way this works is quite interesting. When blitting, the entity actively writes a pure white mask, or near enough, for reasons I can't remember. This is a visible, clear radius around our blitter. When they move, this mask is no longer being blitted, and as a result, the mask is slightly grey, leaving this almost, but not quite, mask in the areas we have been, and this shows as visited areas. It also allows us to serialize our fog to disk and load it back up. I also experimented with tinting visited areas just to see what I could come up with. I thought it'd be a cool idea. It probably won't be in the final release, if there ever is a fucking release at this rate, but yeah, tinted areas. Now we're getting somewhere. Smooth fog, visited areas, diarrhea-stained fog. What next? Well, maybe AI. Before I can show the next clip, I want to add that the AI has been rewritten recently, so all this footage you're about to see is just a part of the process, how it was before, and I'll show it anyway because it's interesting. It's how it all began, but it's all been completely rewritten. Oh, I forgot to mention I created a basic area similar to Aliens 1. If you haven't gathered, Aliens will be the first campaign to recreate. Moving on, here we see something familiar. radio selection and unit ordering. Ignore the mouse. Later on I implement support for hot switching between controller, mouse and keyboard and whatever, a fucking Wii remote if you can connect it. So you can play with whatever works, really. Shortly after, I wanted to get rid of the stiff-ass look and implement a simple blend tree. While their idle was unsettling, it was better to look at while testing at least. Okay, so now let's get into some actual combat. I added the ability for AI to attack and die. Here we can see them butchering each other for entertainment and make love at the end. A typical xenomorph battle. But let's spice it up a bit. Let's add humans. I added a human that is definitely not rookie and equipped the man with a gun. He wasted no time in probing my xenomorph, who died shortly after this violation. I improved group selection, allowing units to move together and maintain their position relative to the target. There's not much else to say on that. It was a little buggy, but I fixed it later on. Now our Xenos can kill things and survive any potential probing. I added the ability for them to quagmire an unconscious body. All we need is a queen, and there'll be more on that soon. I haven't done any proper editing on a video in years. Writing the script for this and looking through these clips feels like an eternity. Next on the list is... I don't know why I'm pausing. I wrote this before voicing it. Even that bit just then. Anyway, controls. Though before we move to that, let's quickly take a peek at the eggs and dragging eggs. You can see me switch between the keyboard and mouse here in real time, and it'll update to reflect this. The controller is as you'd expect, same as the original. Keyboard and mouse are different and new. And they feel pretty good to use. I was pretty happy with how it turned out. It's not as awkward as you might think. There's a lot of new stuff. I swear I don't have clips for these. I've looked. I guess I just kind of forgot. On the topic of input, I took some time to refine the movement system for entities. As you can see, they drag properly and turn before moving like they do in the original game. This would be improved more later on, but it was a pretty little solid update for now. That's pretty much it for this video. There's still quite a bit to go through, but I'm gonna cap this off here as sort of a part 1 kind of thing, and if, I don't know, if this does well, I might do a part 2 with a bit more. Things have changed quite a lot since what you've just seen, and I don't know, if this does well, I guess I can throw another one up, but for now, this is sort of it, and the video's been probably over a year or so in the making at this point. It's been on and off. This audio clip you're hearing now is actually recorded months after the last one you just heard, so it may sound a bit different. Yeah, if you want to see another one, then let me know. If not, then enjoy this one, and that's it for now.